We've all at least had one memorable dream from our childhood, whether it be good or bad, or maybe a recent wacky one we can't exactly make sense of no matter how much you think about it. Regardless, everyone has experienced a dream, and sometimes we find ourselves searching up the meaning of those dreams. These can vary from why your pearly whites keep falling out, to the day your father left for milk and never came back. So clearly the spectrum varies quite a bit, but in general, we have been led to believe that the deeper meaning of dreams can almost always be taken from your emotional state, current happenings in your day-to-day life, memories, and innermost desires. Now tell me, have you ever wished to be doing something so grand like playing music in front of the most prestigious people on the planet and having them cheering you on as you bask in the glory, knowing that you're the only thing that matters in that room, and they offer you to play for them multiple times for even Elon Musk and Mars? Oh, you haven't? Well, I guess I'm the weird one. But back on topic, allow me to explain the most confusing pool of poop that is dreams. That may or may not help us cope with trauma, who knows? Did you expect me to have all the answers in a small dumbed down little package for you just because our teacher instructed us to? No, I'm also a struggling 16-year-old who decided to procrastinate until the last minute to finish this. And dreams are also a very difficult thing to study and explain, with many disagreeing on what the purpose of dreams are. From what has been gathered by studying dreams, the general consensus among neurologists is that dreams occur when the cortical part of our brain, also known as the cerebral cortex, is active during sleep. The cerebral cortex is responsible for our perception, awareness, thought, memory, language, consciousness throughout the day. Dreaming can only be made possible when the brain releases an abundance of, I can't pronounce this, melatonin and oxytocin, in various cycles that put us to sleep and set the conditions for our dreams. During sleep, you cycle through two types of sleep: non-rapid eye movement, also known as non-REM sleep, and rapid eye movement, also known as REM sleep. During non-REM sleep, there are three stages where gradually your body begins to shut down and prepare for deep sleep at the third stage and move on to REM sleep. As a fun fact, those who wet their bed are because they stay too long in the third stage of non-REM sleep. During REM sleep is where you are most likely to have dreams, as the cortical part of your brain is most active. Other parts of your body may also experience activity such as faster breathing, increased heart rate and blood pressure, penile erections, and rapid eye movements. But dreams don't just happen because our brains are a little more active than usual. The state of our mind throughout the day or right before the sleep will impact what a dream is about, or what we will be dreaming about. Now, let's paint the scene. You're taking the bus back home from school. You're exhausted. You just failed your history test, but you're ashamed and don't tell anybody. You keep your head down. Finally, you get back home, get to your undone bed, and instantly knock out. You wake up, but not in your poorly decorated room. Instead, you're back in your history class, taking your test, but it feels wrong. It feels fuzzy. And you look down, and you have no pants on. You panic. You run out of the door into the hallway. The hallway is filled with students with that judgmental stare. You know the stare. I know you know the stare. We definitely know the stare. Then bang! You're awake. And now you need to get ready for school because you slept all day, just like you always do. What would a dream like that mean? Would it mean you'll enjoy showcasing your God-gifted gift? Not exactly. In this case, it would mean a fear of being exposed. Why? Imagine your God-gifted gift represents some type of secret, something you would prefer if people didn't know. Now, also imagine your pants would be a shield to hide your little secrets. But suddenly your shield is taken away and you begin to panic. Does having your shield be taken away help you understand why a dream like this would represent being exposed now? No? Oh, well, that was all I had for you. I could end up diving into the meanings of other dreams and whatnot, but there's a little tiny problem. Those who study dreams have conflicting beliefs on what the actual purpose of dreams are. A lot of the time it's argued that dreams don't really have a deeper meaning, as the internet and googling the meaning of our dreams have led us to believe. Rather than dreams having a deeper meaning, studies at the University of Wisconsin brought an opposing view. That view being that dreams mean nothing. It's revolutionary, isn't it? But it isn't all that surprising that dreams happen either. This is how my monkey brain pictures the concept of dreams and why they happen. Think of your small brain as a clay ball, or rather the image that is projected into your brain as a clay ball. Now picture that ball as if it's coming apart or melting. Now your brain is in charge to put it back into shape. But while you're awake, it's much easier to mold the ball into what you're seeing and memorize it. But while you're asleep, your brain isn't actively processing images, sensations, and emotions for you to mold into your ball. So as you're asleep and entering REM sleep, your brain attempts to mold the ball into what it would look like during the day as if you were awake. It does this by picking memories you had throughout your day or past memories and applying them to your clay ball. And this is why the dreams you do remember tend to be very fuzzy and hard to remember, because most of it is just random memories and sensations spliced together by your brain. Essentially, it's just a lot of empty space being filled in by a 5-year-old who's never drawn before. But this is just how I process dreams and the way they work. I'm not stating this is 100% factual, and neither does postdoctoral Benjamin Braid from the Center of Sleep and Consciousness at the University of Wisconsin. But one thing a high school student and a middle-aged man with a very fancy job title can agree on is that dreams as process emotions and memories. Wow. I'm finally going to address my title. But don't worry, I'll try to wrap up things fast so you can sit through your own video just like I had to. Unless I left for the restroom and I'm currently waiting for my video to end. Anyway, for the sake of being unoriginal, let's pretend you just had some type of traumatic experience. Something like watching a loved one die in your arms. Something terrible like that. Doesn't really matter. Now let's skip to you bawling your eyes out on your bed until you pass out. Now you're awake. And this is a part you can relate to. Or at least I hope you can't relate to what I said previously. Anyway, you're awake and you feel numb. And you end up feeling like that until something outside of your control fans the flames and causes you to cry again and again and again and again. Now let's take a step back and focus on the part when you're numb. As you are asleep and your brain flares up, the cerebral cortex starts to process memories and emotions, and eventually it will come across something hurtful. And it will start to splice it together with something that's very irrelevant and doesn't matter. But what this does, in the best way I can think of wording it, it builds some type of immunity. It's the same exact thing you do when you're awake and you think of something hurtful. So often, it eventually begins to fade and feel numb. It's just instead, you're sleeping rather than being awake. In an even more simplified version, your brain makes you feel numb and eventually get used to it. And because of this, it becomes much more easier to move on from said traumatic experience. Although I will add, this isn't limited to something terrible happening like having a loved one die in your arms. It can also apply when you just have a bad day or someone says something mean about you and it devastates you so much, but then you fall asleep and forget about it in the morning. But another thing I will add, dreams they're fascinating, and there's multiple ways to interpret them. And what I have here is just one small leaf from a massive tree that can go into so many directions, into some like very professional studies, to some other weird pseudoscience stuff. I mean, there's like papers disagreeing with what I just explained, but there's also just as many papers arguing for what I explained. It's honestly fascinating, and if I recommend it if you have any free time. Well, dang, I'm done. I don't know how to end this. Bye.